Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, November 1st. I thought about recording yesterday and then having like my kids in costume, being able to see things like that, especially my daughter. Her makeup was amazing. A friend of mine did it, but I knew there was some stuff I was going to be getting done today that I'd like to show in this video since I haven't done a whole lot of stitching in the last week. So I decided to wait till tonight. And then tonight's been crazy and exciting, and I'll get into that. Actually, let me say first, as you all are well aware at this point, I'm from Texas. I'm actually from the Houston area, and the Houston Astros just won the World Series for the first time. So I was actually going to start recording earlier, and they were in like the 6th inning or 7th inning, and they were winning. I was like, if I'm recording and it pops up that they won the World Series, I'm going to scream on camera. So I decided to wait till after I got that all out of my system. So here we are. Okay. So, I actually, in a way, I have a lot of finishes. I'm just going to get into it. I have whips, I have finishes, I have no haul, I have some FFOs, I have something I worked on today that I want to show y'all, and then I have something I want to talk about. So, let's get started. For my whips, one of the ones I worked on this week was Nest is Blessed. It says this nest is blessed, but I hadn't worked on this one out last month, I don't think, so it's been a little while. But I had gotten all the way across the top done prior, and so this time I had to go back in. I was out of, for some reason I didn't have any of the pinks with me when I was working on it last. So I finished this flower, worked on the bow some, butterfly was there, but I did this purple down here, and then the back stitching. The back stitching on this project has me ready to give it up. I can't stand it. They're like, it'll have one part of the back stitch like in the middle of a bunch of stitches, or what, it's not all, it's very difficult. And I'm gonna come a little closer so you can see, if you can see. And then some of the stuff on the outside, because it's white, you can't even see that I put a back stitch in there. If you didn't absolutely have to have it for this piece, trust me, I would not, because it looks pretty good up there in the leaves. But down here in this flower, just not so much. Back stitching is driving me crazy, but I love the pattern, so I'm keeping with it. So. And this is the same fabric that Cheshire Cat was on that I showed you last week that I didn't know the name of because the tag's on this piece. And it's Silk Weaver's Belfast 32 count in dusk. So I got this at ABC Stitch Therapy in Spring, Texas. It was one of those, I just saw it. They have a ton of fabric, and I was just flipping through things, went, ooh, that's pretty, and grabbed it. I didn't have any plans for it when I bought it, but it's working really well for this piece and for the Cheshire Cat piece. In fact, I have enough left over on both of these. I may be able to do a couple more of the Alice in Wonderland characters on them. So we'll see if I decide to do that. My next whip was Burstone Dragons. And this was like a mini finish, because I finished the dragon I was working on, but didn't get started on anything new. So this is the whole piece as it stands right now. And that, let me fold this so I can see. That's the new dragon. That is September's Sapphire Dragon, which, you know, a lot of people believe that like sharks, dolphins, things like that came from dragons, and it really fits because my daughter loves marine life and she's a September birthday, so I thought he was perfect. I know some people have changed him out, but I really like him. So this is where it currently stands. Remember, I'm waiting till December to get that dragon to be my August dragon, and I'm considering making October August's dragon and then making December October's dragon. Doing a lot of switching around, and I'm just showing you blank. It's a pretty fabric, right? This is Heritage 32 count Lugana from Picture This Plus. So I might be doing a lot of switching around, so you'll get to see that when and if I decide to do it. Okay, next I worked on a couple of my Advent animals, and I started the beginning of my shift working on one, and then I finished it. So then I moved on. Instead of pulling out a whole new project, I just moved on to the next character I was working on that was close to finished, and finished him too. So I had 2 finishes that night. That puts me at like 4 this month. I'm gonna need to find a reason to do a bunch of new starts because I'm gonna run out of whips. Except for my big ones, the Hades and stuff like that. So this is Remy Rabbit. He's number 18. What keeps vibrating? Sorry. Oh, okay. So, that is Remy Rabbit, and he got all finished. And then I moved on to Hamilton Horse, and got him finished. Both of them only needed a few hundred stitches. Remy needed more than Hamilton did, so. This is on Frozen Fractals 28 count Lugana from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And so I have, and you're going to see the 3 that were here, and I have all the way down to 18. I'm hoping I have enough fabric to finish it out. And then I worked on Monopoly, which I didn't get a lot done on Monopoly because I had it was a night that was supposed to be super slow at work because my rig had already moved. There was nobody coming in and out of my site, but with some other things going on, I was on the phone for half the night. So by the time I got to sit down and stitch, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I only stitch until 5 because then I clean up everything before my relief gets there at 5:30. So I didn't get a lot done. Sorry, I did not organize my mess over here. I got it all out, but I just knocked it all over. I didn't. Kind of showing you my bag. See how well it works for this one? This is the exact one I told you I needed it for. And because I didn't get hardly anything finished, I need to be able to keep it on the Q-snap. But see what I have to do with all this fabric? Jeez. Okay. So I got him finished up. He's got a blue thread right there. Got a clip. He needed a little bit done here and the rest of his hat, and then I got started on this over here. So not a lot of progress, but this will be the first thing I pick up when I go to work tomorrow. So it'll have more progress next week. And then I did work on Treasure Hunt Bookshelf last night, but it was literally like maybe 75 stitches, maybe. So I'm not even going to show it because you're not even going to be able to tell, especially because they're really light stitches. So can't tell. Not at all. Okay, so you see my whips and you see my finishes. Now I move on to my fully finished objects, which, oh, they're actually right here. So I don't have to bend over and clean up that mess yet. So previously, if you've seen, I told you I was going to finish these as magnets to put on the refrigerator. That way, as my children are counting down to Christmas, they could just pull the magnets off the fridge, put it back in like a box I'm going to have for them, and they'll be ready for next year. So with this in mind, I got in a little bit of a rush to be able to show people what I mean by that. And so I did the first one, not today. This is further back, but I wanted to show you some comparison. And he's just basically folded, glued, and stuck on a magnet. He's not pretty, but he works. And disclaimer here, I'm not a perfectionist. I know that he doesn't look anywhere near perfect, but he's okay to me. That these little bits sticking out the corner, the fact that he's not quite even on all sides, that does not bother me. So I'm okay with it. And that's what's important, right? And I mean, for the use, I mean, my children are going to be pulling it off, on and off a refrigerator. I'm not even worried about how it looks. And I need you to remember this, because my next couple are not perfect. They're not even the same. So it's going to look like madness and chaos on my refrigerator. And something about that excites me. I think that makes it even more fun than if they all looked exactly the same. And it's a small project that I don't, like I said, I'm doing for my kids. It's not something that I want to look great. So it gives me, I'm able to practice with these. And then when something does matter that I do want done nicely, I'll already have the messiness out of my way. And part of the reason that they are as messy as they are is because I didn't give myself a lot of room. Let me open this up. Between each of them. You see that? That's not a lot of room. That's what, an inch? It was supposed to be 2 inches, but no, that's exactly an inch. So that only gave me a ½ an inch on fabric on the sides to work with. Now when I did this, ½ an inch is not a problem. I just folded it back. But then thanks to Stitcherista's recent tutorial video, I decided to try and wrap it around the board, the foam core, and put a little stuffing in there and yada yada. And so I didn't give myself enough fabric for that. So this is part of the reason everybody tells you to give yourself enough fabric, and it's a learning curve for me. You know, when I first started doing this, I had none of these plans. So anyways, I'm digressing. This is what the first one looked like that I did a few months ago. This is the one I did today. And see, he's a little thicker on the sides. He's a little cushy because there is some felt in there. It needs to be glued just a little bit better in the corner, but it's okay. I just got a magnet on the back. Now this one was really short on the side, so like it's not even underneath the magnet. But that's okay. So the next one, and I realized that part of that is because I cut too much of the foam core. So the next one I trimmed it down, and I trimmed it down too much. So like you can't even see a lot of his border unless you look at the sides. But he's still cute. I love him. The important parts are there. So, but he is fully tucked under the magnet. So, piece one. See, these are closer to the same size. But 22 and 23, they're quite a bit different. So, one moment. Okay, so that's those. Those are my fully finished objects for this week. Yay! I think they're cute. So I have 3 of them done like this. I have 4 more fully stitched to become those. But I will probably finish this one before I cut this one off and work on these, just because then it gives me enough room in my hoop to hold some of the fabric. So that is that. Now I've had one project and I've discussed this one in the past, but it has been so long since I've been able to go to my sewing room. My sewing room is not here at my house. My cross stitch stuff is, but like my actual fabric, my sewing machine, things like that are at my aunt's house. She has this big outdoor building that is her sewing building because she does quilts, and all my sewing machine and my fabric and everything are there. And I didn't bring them because we used to live right next door to her and we just shared the building. Well, then we moved into town, but I didn't want to, she kind of used my stuff some, so I didn't want to just take it. And on top of that, it gave me an excuse to go out there and see her and work with her on things. So it's been a little while since I've been able to get out there, but I finally went out there today. So I have this project where I don't know what happened with the measurements, but I started the piece and then realized I was going to be like 5 squares from the edge of the fabric, which wasn't a big deal with how I was planning on finishing it, but would make it really hard to like put it in a Q-snap or in a hoop or anything like that. So I decided to go ahead and sew some fabric on the sides, even if I have to adjust it later, to give me that extra room. So that's what I did today. And it's, I don't know where this random ass thread is coming from. Okay. So that's what it looks like right now. And I love this fabric I chose. I think it's going to go great with the rest of the pattern. Here, I actually have it pulled up because I needed it to match the fabric. And I will show you what it looks like. If, you know, my phone will cooperate with my iPad. So this is, see, that's what I was afraid of. They're not gonna pick it up at all. Oh, I almost got it. Maybe if hold on. I might be able to figure this out. Turn down the brightness on my screen. There we go. There we go. We kind of got to get a crooked view, but... Ooh, now all you get is glare. You don't need to see any of that. There you go. So that's what it's going to look like when it's finished, except of course it's going to have our last name in there instead. So I thought this fabric going around the edge would look very nicely. So I have not worked on this piece in a few months because of that whole edging issue. So I'm hoping now that I've done this, I will get back to working on it. Because, let me see my hole where I marked. I think it's literally going to go right to the fabric. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. So, my husband got to see the piece today. When I first started several of these projects, he was kind of still, whatever, it's cross stitching. Now he started to kind of get into some of my pieces, and so when I showed him that pattern again this time, he was like, oh, that'll be great. Like I said, we're buying a house, being able to hang it on the front door or whatever. It's gonna be kind of awesome. So he's into that now. So that is that. That is all my stitchy goodness. So, before I get to my flavor of the week, I wanted to discuss the fact that I am going to the Flosstube retreat in New Jersey in May, and I'm so excited. It was chaos. So I told my husband after I went to the Flosstube retreat in Austin, I said, I'm gonna want to do that again. That was a lot of fun, and I need you to realize that the next one is probably not going to be right down the road, which, I mean, Austin's still 5 hours, but it's still kind of right down the road. I mean, it took me not even part of a day to get there. So I told him, the future ones will probably be somewhere else and we'll have to do more traveling. He said, that's okay, we'll figure it out, that sort of thing. So then, while waiting for Julia to plan the next Flosstube retreat, because she is going to do another one next fall, Arlene and McKenna got together and decided to plan one in the springish summertime in May. They at first they couldn't decide March or May, and after enough people voted, that we'd all decided on May. So, they decided to do that, and Arlene wants to do it in New Jersey because then it's close to her. It'd be easier for her to go to, things like that. So I told my husband, I said, there's a Flosstube retreat in New Jersey. And he said, okay. You know, if you think we can afford it, because I do the bills, and you really want to go, let's do it. I said, okay. So then one day last week, they said that they were going to put the spots on sale on Sunday. And then on Saturday, she let us know it'd be at 2 p.m. her time on Sunday, which is 1 p.m. my time. And I was like, okay. I work on Saturday night. I work on Sunday night. I sleep all day in between, pretty much. I mean, I usually wake up between 2:30 and 3:30 to get ready for work. I have to leave out the door by 4:15 because I have to be there by 5:30 for a meeting, and then I start my shift at 6. So I was like, I'm going to have to wake up early. It's going to be a really long night. I'm going to be tired. And I set my alarm for 12:50. I woke up at 12:50. I made sure the correct card that had the money I needed was on my PayPal account. And I waited, and I refreshed Facebook, and just after 1 o'clock, it was probably either at 1 o'clock or 1:01 maybe, Arlene posted the email address that you're supposed to send the money to. I sent my money at 1:03. That's when I got the confirmation email that the PayPal had sent it. At 1:14, the spots were full. Arlene had posted, and she's like, okay, I think I've hit 70. Please stop sending money. And then even, I want to say it was maybe another half hour after that, she's like, okay, people are still sending money. She's like, I'm trying to get through all this. Stop sending money. So, based on the first cutoff, when she cut it off, there was a little over 70 people that had sent money, and she felt comfortable upping it and allowing everybody that made it to the cutoff point. So I believe there's 75 people going. So then it was kind of a waiting game. I knew I had got my money in really fast, but so had a lot of people. So I waited, I think, 2 hours for my confirmation email. And I was standing outside talking with my husband and a friend, and I heard my phone vibrate, and I'm like, I gotta check it and see if it's my email. It was, and I screamed, and I got all excited. And I guess it was maybe an hour later, my husband had already left for work, and he messages me. He's like, why am I so excited that you got in? So he's been very supportive when it comes to all this. But we decided that it is not like the cross-stitching retreat comes first for he and I, but I am going to stay, he's going to go with me. He's going to have to try and find something to do while I'm at the retreat, and then we're going to stay a couple extra days and see a little bit of New York and a little bit of Philadelphia and a little bit of DC. Because I've never traveled that far. He has, but the one time he went to Philadelphia, it was just for a layover because he was going to London, and so he didn't actually get to explore. So we're gonna make it a nice trip for both of us, and we're very excited about it. And so I messaged Trisha at 3 All Threads, and she and I were kind of because we saw each other in Austin. But we were both excited to get to go to New Jersey, and there are a couple people that are going to, or that went to Austin that are going to New Jersey, but there's a lot of new people too. So you get to meet even more stitchers, and it's a bigger retreat because Austin was 50 people and New Jersey is 75 now. And then I found out Stitcherista is going, and I got so excited. Cheryl, the Wayward Stitcher, is going to be there. Of course, McKenna and Arlene. I want to say Michelle Garrett is going. They haven't released an official list just yet. but I'm pretty sure she is. There's a couple other people that I wanted to mention. But like I said, they haven't released an official list yet, so I don't know who all's going. I'm seriously debating making my husband watch Flosstube before we go. I made him watch a little bit of one of Danielle's videos today. Just a little bit though, because it's really not his thing. So I don't know what to have him do while I'm in the cross-stitching retreat. So if you have any suggestions, put them down below. I would love to relay them to him, because like I said, we want to do New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. together. So I really need something he can do during the day that's not too far. We are renting a car, so we'll have a car for the entire weekend. Neither of us have driven in, North United States. I understand the traffic is way different, and he's not that good with traffic as it is, so I don't know what he'll do. But I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see everybody, and I can't believe I have to wait like 7 more months. That, when I went to the Austin retreat, I was one of those last minute people that got in because other people had dropped out. So I only had to wait like 3 weeks. And this time I have to wait 7 months. That's not going to be easy. I mean, even as it is, it's been a week. Not even a week. Let's see what's today. Today's Wednesday. Hasn't even been a week, and it's all we've talked about. I can only imagine 7 months of that's all we're talking about. So we're booking our plane tickets on the 15th and then working on everything else after that. So if you have any suggestions or ideas, just let me know. I've got my flavor of the week. I've rambled way too much this time. Ugh. It's okay. Flavor of the week is not overly interesting, but hey, I've made a routine and a habit, and I've got to stick to it. My new show is Riverdale. It's on Netflix. Season 1 is. It's airing live on the CW right now. I don't know if it's the CW for everybody or if that's just us. I don't know. But anyway. I watched the first season on Netflix. I'm not watching what's live right now because I don't watch anything live at the moment. If it doesn't come on Hulu or Netflix, I typically don't watch it. I'm still working on Outlander, but my Stars app says it downloads, and then I get to my shack where I have no service, and then they don't work. The app errors out, so it's been irritating me. But I started Riverdale because of that, and in 2 days, I think I got through the entire first season. It's a really good show. They say it's a subversive outlook on the Archie comics with Jughead and Betty and all them. And I'm loving it. I think it's awesome. So I just finished the first season, and I haven't watched the second season, but I like it. So the old Flosstuber that I'm going to shout out this week is, I don't want to say her name wrong. Give me one moment. I know I just watched her video today too. It's bad. Okay, I'm not crazy. Her name is Jennifer Upton, and that's her channel name too. That's what I was seeing. I didn't know if maybe she had a different channel name. And I had started watching her video from 2 days ago earlier today, and I haven't finished it yet. But I'm really enjoying watching her videos. She works in a cross-stitch shop, at least part-time. I'm thinking it's just part-time. And she's always got something new to talk about or new that she's working on. And I really like her accent. Like, just hearing her talk is like, it's more relaxing for me and holds my interest very easily. I can't even explain that, but I really like her accent. And I've been watching her for a while now, so I really like her videos. The new Flosstube that I most recently subscribed to. This is gonna sound really bad. I subscribed, I made it through like half a video, and then I had to turn it off, like I got a phone call or something like that, and I never got to go back to it and finish it. But what I saw I liked, and enough people have recommended them or shouted them out on their videos that I'm going to just tell you that they're already amazing people, and I really want to go back and watch those videos. In fact, I may do that as soon as I get off. No, Jesse's got a new one. Gotta watch Jesse's first, and that's 2.5 hours. And then I will go back and watch the Weasley Studios. And I just, like I said, I didn't get to watch much of a video. I don't have a lot to say, but so many people have shouted them out that I absolutely had to subscribe. I subscribed yesterday. I will, or the day before, I will get to watch more of their videos and tell you more about them. But even just the premise of it being two guys and them calling themselves the Weasley Studios makes me think of Fred and George, and brings back my Harry Potter nostalgia, and is just very exciting for me. So I look forward to more videos from them. I will link everything down below that I can possibly think of, both the Flosstube people and Riverdale, and maybe to places where I've bought fabric. I don't know. I'll just add everything. So that is it for me this week. I'm excited to be recording from home again, and I hope I get to keep doing this because I feel like it's a little less awkward. I don't know. And I will see y'all next week. Thank y'all for subscribing, commenting, liking. I've been getting a lot more messages on Facebook and Instagram, and I try my best to respond to everybody and to keep conversations going. It's not something I'm particularly good at, but I am working on it. And I really appreciate it. It makes me feel really good to know that what I'm saying is at least partially interesting to y'all. So I hope y'all all have a great stitching week, and I will talk to you about that next week. Y'all, I'll see y'all later.